41 outside in Bear Country. Time to head to the phone lines and get our first fishing report of the morning. Check in with our old buddy, Henry Cowan. Good morning, sir.
What's up, Bradley?
How are you doing, my man?
I'm feeling spunky this morning.
Are you?
I'm getting up for that. You know, I got to get up. We got a big day today on the river.
Yeah, we do. A lot of things going on, and looking forward to getting to all that. But I got to make mention to you. I was listening to The Godfather on the way in, and I heard him asking about favorite outdoor TV programs. And you said yourself you don't watch a whole bunch of them. But, you know, when I first heard him ask that, if I had to pick just one right off the top of my head, the first thing that came to mind was your reply, Walker's Cay Chronicles. Not only for the fishing and the scenery, but the narrative that, you know, I don't know if Flip wrote it. Of course, he does the delivery of the narrative.
He did write it. He wrote everything.
Just, I mean, poetic. Every time you watch one of those shows, the writing complements everything that goes with it. Just by far one of my all-time favorites. But, you know, now my favorite is a different show. It's kind of fishing related, but it's cooking related too. And it's done with one of your New England brethren, Ben Sargent. He first appeared on, Food Network's Throwdown with Bobby Flay.
Right.
And actually, I think this was the first Throwdown with Bobby Flay. But nonetheless, Ben, a chowder man from up in New England, and now he's got his own TV show called Hook, Line, and Dinner. It's been out for several years now. But I just love that show because not only does he go all over catching these fish, but they get into cooking and eating them too. And that's, to me, the ultimate payout.
Which especially down here where they eat everything.
Or out of Louisiana where I'm from, where if it crawls, swims, walks, or even looks like it might be capable of doing it, it's fine grub.
Brad, we're going to get you a hat that says "Fillet and Release."
It's funny. I filled in for somebody on Thursday, and a friend of mine's sister-in-law was in here with us, and she's, you know, a cute gal, but sometimes things go right over the top of her head, and she's not even blonde. But nonetheless, we were talking, and we were talking about catch and release, and I told her I'm all about catch and release and grease. And I figured if anybody would pick up on it, she would, because she loves to eat, and she loves fish. And, boy, it just went right over it. Didn't have a clue.
I understand. Well, you know, Walker's Cay was definitely my favorite show. I just absolutely loved it. I enjoyed, you know, not the later versions, but the earlier versions of Spanish Fly when Jose Wahebe was just starting out. That was also, it was good, not quite as good as Walker's Cay. Well, to me, Walker's Cay and The American Sportsman were probably my two favorites.
Right on. Good choices indeed. All right, well, now that we're on the roll of fishing, what's biting up on Lanier? What's hot and what's not?
Well, you know, the striper bite on Lanier has slowed down some in the last week, 10 days. There are still fish being caught. There are some really big fish being caught. There was
I have seen this.
A couple of fish in the 40s caught this week, and a couple in the 30s, and actually a 24 and a 26 this week caught on fly.
That's
so there's
nice.
been some really great sized fish, but the numbers just aren't there right now. Most of our fish have headed north to do their annual spawning run. So if you go up the Chattahoochee River, and I'm talking way up that Belton Bridge area above Lula, that's where the majority of your fish are, and they'll probably head back down in waves over the next week to 10 days. And, you know, generally speaking, by the 1st of May, it'll be game on again. So we're probably about a week, 10 days away from everything busting open. And once that happens, one of our favorite times, just a wonderful pattern, is our redfin season will begin, which is just so exciting because if any of our bear listeners have never seen a striper eat a redfin on the surface, just this is what it's like. Close your eyes, make believe you're on the water, and you're reeling in a lure, and all of a sudden, the lure the sound that fish makes when he inhales the redfin off the surface would be similar to taking a cinder block and dropping it from the second-story window of a building onto the lake.
You got that right. As the water disappears underneath that lure into its giant hole,
Yeah, it's pretty unbelievable. It's like a toilet flush, some guys call it. It's pretty remarkable. That's going to start in about a week, 10 days from now. And it's like days like today where we get a little bit more breezy conditions. That's actually the best time to throw a redfin. When you get out on the lake and you say, "Oh gosh, look, it's so windy this morning. I don't know what I'm going to do." Absolutely a perfect opportunity to throw a redfin for the next month.
Yeah, that wake bait, if you will, that V-wake pattern that it pulls is more intensified by that little bit of rip. I mean, you can't have just ultimate whitecap chop out there, but that good, solid ripple on that water just enhances the action of that bait, I really believe.
Yeah, we've had some great redfin days when the winds have been blowing between 10 and 15 miles an hour, which is certainly above what anglers would prefer to be out in. But when it does, you pull out an old redfin rod, throw on a 7-inch long redfin, and if it's a sunny day, make sure it's got a chrome belly, and if it's a cloudy day, make sure it's got a matte finish like a white or an off-white or a pearl-colored finish on the bottom, and have at it, because you'll have a ball with redfins just throwing on point.
Well, I got a bait that's ideal for that. I'm looking forward to throwing it this year. I'm going to give a plug for the company, Smack Tackle, putting together a fine swim bait for the mere price of $25. It sounds a little pricey for a lure, but at the same time, we're talking about a good quality swim bait, and those things can get up into the 3 digits. So $25, very reasonable. But Smack Tackle Company with their Smack Jack, it's a 6-inch bait that is about 7/8 ounce and very easy on the arm for doing a lot of throwing. So if you're used to throwing a big Magnum redfin, then certainly you will love the Smack Jack. And the V-wake action that it works is outstanding with that broken back action. It is just, I'm looking forward to it. I know it's a striper slayer. I've already seen proof of it. I'm just ready to see it in my hands.
Well, you got the whole month of May to play with it. So that's the night. That's what May is. May is redfin season, or wake bait season for that matter. So that's what's coming up. As far as what's going on at the moment, so with our stripers being a little slow, my dock light bite is on fire. My dock lights at night have just been lit up with fish. Just about every dock light that I've been on has got anywhere from 8 to 10 fish on it every morning and every evening. So my dock light, I've been starting my trips early this past week, just because with the striper fish a little slow. We can get our fill of stripers in the first hour and a half before first light, and then once that happens, we have a choice of either we move into one of the creeks where there aren't as many fish, but you've got those big gals in there, or we go into some of these other creeks that are just absolutely full of bass. The bass are in the grass right now. They're up shallow, and there's just a ton of them to be caught. So if you're looking to have a good trip, now is the time where you can hit the dock light early and then switch over to bass after first light and just have a ball all morning.
I got a couple of things to add to that. One of them is a question on the dock light bite. How early do you start fishing that type of fishery? Do you get it going? Can you get success, say, in the middle of the night, 1 in the morning, something like that? Or is that primarily just prior to sunrise is the best?
Well, let's put it this way, Brad. At our age, I fish the dock lights either just after dark or just before first light. But about 15 years ago, when I was still in my 30s,
the all-nighter.
I could actually go out there and fish from 2 in the morning until 6 in the morning and put a whole morning trip together, just fishing one light after another and just wear out the fish. It's not unlike your typical what we would call our bomber fishing. When the fish get on the bombers at night and they fish the beaches, we're doing the same thing. We're just doing them on dock lights, and they're just full of fish. What happens with the dock lights, for the folks that aren't familiar with it, when you shine a light either from the surface onto the water, or now some of the more dock light friendly lights are the underwater lights. They're ones that are actually put in the water with a waterproof bulb, and they actually illuminate from subsurface. Those lights, what happens is the dock lights draw the plankton, and the plankton draws the bait fish, and the bait fish draws the game fish, and the game fish draws us. So it's a whole ecosystem going.
It's a vicious cycle, man.
It really is. And so it's really, it's not unlike what the guys really started doing down in Florida with the snook when they fish snook under the lights, and we're doing the same thing here on for stripers and bass
And
on the
crappie.
dock lights and crappie too. That's correct.
Yeah, I wanted to add to the bass thing. You had mentioned the grass and getting up into that grass. I remember living down at Wingates and talking to a tournament angler down there, and he was telling me one of his more successful tournaments was a time when they were out and they could see the bass feeding in the grass, and they kept throwing their baits in there, and they weren't getting any kind of action whatsoever. They tried all these different type of baits. And then finally, one of them observing, as we've talked about before, and what's actually happening out there, it was noticing that it was smaller fish in the reeds that was running the bait fish out into the open, and the bigger fish were out there ambushing them. So he said, hey, I'm going to try something different. He threw his plastic worm. He didn't even worry about changing up a bait. He just threw plastic worm deep into the grass, ripped it on out until it got right just past that grass line, and then let it drop. And he said as soon as he did, bam, and it was on like that for every other time. They ended up winning that tournament with that one hole and that one strategy. So we talk a lot about matching the hatch as far as size goes. This was more of what that hatch was doing.
Yeah, well, and that's half the game, is just really being persistent and observant, changing baits, working your out. In this case, these guys figured out that it was based on the action more than anything else. They kind of saw what was going on, and they replicated the action of the small fish chasing the bait out into the open water, and they replicated with the worm, which is just really savvy on their part. So we're doing all that kind of stuff right now. But it's just not that difficult right now. The fish they're up in the grass, and if you get in my case, we're fishing flies. If you get a fly on an intermediate line in the grass, and there's a bass anywhere near it, it is an automatic eat. I mean, it's just wonderful right now. One of my favorite lures to throw right now this time of year. It's not even sold at retailers. It's called a steel shad, and I just love throwing a steel shad this time of year. I catch a lot of fish on it. Basically, it's a blade bait. It's a blade bait that looks sort of like a crippled herring, or any of those blade baits that they have, like a Phoebe or whatnot.
Yes, Sonic Blade comes to mind.
Like Sonic Blade, that's right. But when you cast it out and retrieve it, it comes in just like a rattle trap. You just feel the vibration on the rod tip, and the bass just love it. I have done extremely well with that bait this time of year. So I've always got one of those on. The other lure that's just a killer this time.
Hey, Henry, you kind of faded off the phone a little bit.
I'm sorry. I got better?
Yep, a whole lot better.
Another lure that
What'd you do, Henry?
I moved it from my left ear to my right ear.
That got worse.
How about that?
That's amazing. I don't think your left side likes your right side.
I guess not. The other bait that's really popular right now is to throw a small Super Fluke Junior. A weightless Super Fluke Junior in the grass will get a bite just about every cast. So there's just a lot of stuff going on in the grass right now, and both largemouth and especially the spots. It's just been fantastic.
Excellent. And before we let you go, we got to talk some trout fishing. Big event going on today. Fly fishing for vets. Our buddy Ken Griffin and the Wounded Warriors doing some fishing today up on the Hooch.
And they're going to be doing that down at Cobb Parkway this morning, which is Pace's Mill off of 41, which is right off of 285, actually. You get off of Pace's Mill. It's over by the Cobb Galleria. And if you'll just go south past the Cobb Galleria, about a mile south on the right, you'll pass the Pace's Mill Chattahoochee National Forest, park in there. Go in there, and there'll probably be tents set up, and I imagine they'll be bringing about 50 to 80 vets down there from the area, veterinarian hospitals. The veteran hospitals will bring down those folks, and there'll be folks in the river aiding them and having them catch trout on a fly rod and experiencing that and having just a grand time. There'll be food and beverages, and it's just a big time down there. So Cobb 41, probably about 11 o'clock in the morning is what I'm guessing.
Yeah, they get kind of started early. As a matter of fact, Kent's down there now getting all set up and continuing to help with that. But, it's a great time to remind people that, if you're looking for something fun to do today, grab the kids, grab a few fishing poles, go down there, check out what's going on. This whole thing is set up for the vets to fish, but they stock a whole bunch of fish in there. And the event wraps up fairly early in the afternoon. So
it does.
After you got a chance to introduce your kids to some great American heroes and, experience some of what they're getting to enjoy down there, then, you can turn your kids loose fishing and let them catch some fish. Now, you got to remind people, of course, it's still delayed harvest in that section. But
right, it's all catch and release.
But at the same time, they can go down there with a can of corn and just wear those stalkers out. So,
yeah, they could do that, but they're not supposed to be fishing with a can of corn.
Oh, that's right. It's delayed harvest still.
It's delayed harvest, so
a spinner, a good Panther Martin.
There you go. A Panther Martin would be great. And for any of the Bear listeners, if you really enjoy getting that tingly feeling in your body, that tingly sensation when something good happens, like when you see a movie that kind of moves you, or you read a story in the newspaper that moves you. If you really like that feeling that you get when that happens, go down to Cobb 41 today, and believe me when I tell you, you'll get that same feeling throughout your body. It's just a wonderful event, and it makes you feel good, and it's just a great way to honor these people that have done so much for us.
You said that best, my friend. Well, Henry, we really appreciate you taking time out with us. Won't be long, we'll be talking about fly fishing for freshwater bonefish.
We're coming close. We're about a month away.
That's
about a month away.
That's off the chain. Looking forward to that conversation. I'm going to have to see if we can ever get you on to Buffalo, because Joe up in the mountains, Troutman Joe, has caught him a huge buffalo earlier in the week on a fly, and I'm sure it was quite a fight for him.
Yeah, buffalo carp is quite a fish. It was a buffalo carp, wasn't it? He wasn't really fishing for buffalo, was he?
No, buffalo carp. Actually, I don't even know if it's in the is it cypricoid or cypricoid family?
Yeah, it's one of those.
Something like that, some Latin word. Nonetheless, the buffalo fish.
Well, we'll be, you talk about freshwater bonefish. I am leaving a week from tomorrow. I'm taking 10 anglers from Atlanta, hosting a trip down in Andros Island for the saltwater version of bonefish. So we'll be away from the 28th of April till May 4th and doing our annual bonefish trip. It's what we call, we go down there, we have a week of just fun. It's all the guys, and we leave our credit cards with our wives. We pay the tax when we get home as they max out the cards while we're gone, but it's a good time.
I hear you, man. Well, have fun chasing that silver fox when you get down there, and we're looking forward to catching up with you again real soon, buddy.
All right, pal. You take care. Have a good week.
Hey, real quick, before we let you go, somebody wants to book a trip with you, go do some fly fishing, fish the dock lights, anything like that. How's the best way for folk to keep up with Henry Cowan?
Well, they can get on the website at Henry Cowan, Cowen, flyfishing.com, or they can go to or they can call me on the phone at 678-513-1934, and we'd be happy to. We've got a few dates open from the second half of May. We're kind of booked up between now and the first half of May, but the second half of May is wide open.
And now's a good time to start booking those carp fly fishing trips too.
We'll fire that up right around Memorial Day for June and July. We'll be doing a lot of carp fishing and a little bit of hybrid fishing on Altoona as well.
Excellent. Henry, as always, looking forward to catching up with you again, and thank you so much for your time, sir.
All right, pal. You take care and sharpen up the hooks on that wake bait, pal.
You got it, man.
Bye.
Bye. That's our old buddy Henry Cowan. Jennifer Spell joining us in the studio, a.k.a. Bayou Betty. Going to be talking to her next after this here on Georgia Outdoors Radio on 92.5 The Bear.
Howdy, this is your old gardening buddy Buckshot here for Arnold Grocery in Noonan with a weeding tip for you. But before that, if you're doing anything with your garden, you'll find what you need at Arnold Grocery, like a huge selection of seeds. Purple Hull peas, rattlesnake green beans, and silver queen corn, available from a quarter pound up to a pound, and small packets too. Arnold has bonnie plants, seed potatoes, and onion sets. You can also get bulk potting soil, manure, fertilizers, insecticides, herbicides, and all kinds of sprayers too, including lawn care products and seed as well. Now here's that weeding tip. If it comes up easy, it ain't no weed. Arnold Grocery, 32 East Washington Street, Noonan, or online at arnoldgrocery.com.
Gear up for baseball and softball at Noonan Ace Hardware. They've got a big selection of 2013 bats in stock with more arriving weekly. Bats from Easton, Mizuno, Worth, TPX, and DeMarini. Noonan Ace also has the area's biggest selection of catcher's gear. Brands like Diamond, Easton, TPX, and Mizuno. At Noonan Ace, they even have Trump X-Rock softballs plus a wide variety of safety masks for girls softball. Special orders are available too. Get great prices on top quality baseball and softball gear at Noonan Ace Hardware, located at Turkey Creek and Poplar Road in Noonan.
When you need tires, you may shop around. So if you are shopping tires, let me make it easy for you. Check Binion Tire and Automotive in Noonan first. They carry Michelin, BF Goodrich, Uniroyal, and other great brands. Plus, you'll usually find sale prices or manufacturer rebates on various brand tires. Binion Tire and Automotive is my car care center, and the same can be said for a lot of folks. A whole lot of folks, since Binion Tire's been around for over 50 years. Shopping tires? Make your first stop Binion Tire and Automotive, Greenville Street in Spence and Noonan, or BinionTire.com.
Hey Bear Country, it's Matt from Small Town Pizza in Sonoy. You know, I feed a lot of people, especially Cadillac and Uncle Rich.
Hey, there's a reason for that. When you got the best pizza in town, we want to eat it, right, Uncle Rich?
Hey, now, and not only the best pizza, don't forget about the wings, the subs, the lasagna. It's the place to eat in Sonoy. You can check out the entire menu at smalltownpizza.com.
Or give them a call at 770-599-1226 for Matt's Small Town Pizza in Sonoy.
A date which will live in infamy.
Watch history come alive at the 2013 World War II Heritage Days, April 27th and 8th at Peachtree City's Falcon Field. This commemorative Air Force event features World War II era displays, vehicles, aircraft, and reenactors. You'll get a chance to see Allied troops take on the European and Pacific Axis forces. Get your tickets early for our Saturday night hangar dance featuring swing music by the Peachtree Jazz Edition. For more information, see wwiidays.org or call the Dixie Wing 678-364-1110. Activities start at 9 a.m. both days. See you there.
Ouch! The pain! Oh, the stiffness! If just thinking about your favorite activities make your joints hurt, the orthopedic specialist at Spalding Regional Hospital can help. They offer some of the latest in orthopedic repair, including joint replacement options. Take the first step and call to meet with a specialist. 678-688-5970. Again, 678-688-5970. Or visit spaldingregional.com/joints. Spalding Regional Orthopedics and Joint Health can get you back in the game. Autry's Armory invites you to stop in for guns, holsters, ammo, and optics. They're your Class 3 dealer carrying AR-15 accessories. You'll see why everybody loves Autry's Armory and the indoor range. Come see the Big Green Egg showroom, stocked with cookers, Yeti coolers, Eno hammocks, and a large selection of premium freeze-dried foods from Wise and Mountain House. Wednesday is Ladies' Day, and you can visit AutrysArmory.com, 770-719-2454.
Now more of Georgia Outdoors Radio with Brad Myers on the Bear 92.5.
.5 The Bear. It is Georgia Outdoors Radio. Brad Myers in with you, and taking a quick check of our weekend forecast. Kind of cool outside. I'm liking that because it has made it later in the season for the morel mushrooms, and that's what I plan on doing today. I won't be fishing. Probably be my last weekend of mushroom hunting, but at least it'll be, I can say this honestly, probably the latest into April that I've hunted for the morels, so that's looking good. Weather-wise, why am I able to do so? Well, it's been cool for us for the most part of the early spring, and it continues to do so today. Forecast for today and this weekend, it's going to be sunny. High is going to be up in the mid-60s. Winds, though, out of the northwest, 5 to 15 miles an hour. Gust up to 25 tonight, mostly clear. Evening lows down around the mid-30 mark. May want to watch some of those tender plants. And for your Sunday, it's going to be mostly sunny. High is going to be up near 68 and continued breezy, 5 to 15, gust up to 20 miles an hour. Monday, more of the same as well, as we'll stay in the mid-60 range. Right now, we're at 40 outside in Bear Country. It's kind of cool, and I'm going to be talking some Southern John Boat anglers. That's right. You want to do some bass fishing, can't afford the big high dollar rigs and all that? Well, these folk, they like to roll with small boats. And I do too, as a matter of fact. I love to river fish and always enjoyed small outboards, John boats, and things of that nature. Well, they fish both gas-only or electric-only lakes and some that have gas-powered. And joining us in the studio is Jennifer Spell, a.k.a. Bayou Betty. You don't have to jump on the mic yet, gal. You just keep doing what you're doing. She's working on setting together some camera stuff. If you're plugging into that over there, it's probably not going to work. I'm probably going to have to, I was going to say, I'm probably going to have to find a feed for you because that is our phone thing there. So as soon as we go to a commercial break, we'll get that last little component hooked up for you. Find a slot to plug that in. Wasn't a very long cord that I had there. But I've got an idea for another cord. So as she is getting her camera set, some of the things I do want to remind you of that are going on coming up here real soon on Georgia Outdoors Radio. As a matter of fact, I believe next week we're going to have the good folks from Truth in Nature in. It's the organization that takes single-parent child and gets them involved in the outdoor activities. They just finished up a striper trip on Lanier. Some young people catching some big fish. As a matter of fact, I was following them on Facebook, and it started off with some nice single-digit fish that these kids were catching, but then it just kind of escalated from there, and before they were done, I think it was 20, 25-pound striper that they had gotten up to, so it was really cool to see those kids catching those big fish. And anyway, let's see if we can get Jennifer mic'd up here and see if all that's working. How's that? Say how do.
How do.
All right, I got the right mic. Somebody played musical mics on me, and instead of them being in order like our switch system over here, they kind of flip-flopped on that one. So we got you hot there. Now, going to be talking about some Southern John Boat anglers. Jennifer, last time you were in the studio, we talked a little bit about the club, and, it's something that you had got involved in, as you put it, mainly a man's world. How's it been for a small fry in the man's world?
It's a man's world. It's been good.
Pull the mic around to you. Okay. I know it's weird looking.
Is that better?
Yeah, a whole lot better.
Okay. It's been good. Everybody's been pretty nice. What I'm learning is there's a certain group of guys that stay up in the top, and I think it's these Driggers guys in my club. They seem to win all the time. They take my money every week. It's nice. Mm-hmm.
Now, what are their secrets? Have you picked their brain, peeked in their tackle bag?
Well, I'm doing a documentary to coincide with all this Triumph.
Right, documentary. So I got to get all this information down for the documentary.
Right. What I'm doing is I'm asking whoever wins, what they're throwing, what was their strategy. These Driggers guys, they keep, they told me all they're going to tell me. They won't open their mouth anymore, so.
Hey, if you got any info out of them, that's pretty good considering.
Well, the bite was, it was a jig, it was the A-rig, this was just like pre-spawn. And then now it's just, the fish are doing a lot of different crazy things, and it's a free-for-all. The spring is kind of a free-for-all. So it's not like, finding out like what the bait fish are doing now, I think is going to be the next, and we're moving into some moving baits. But, watching these guys, everybody, it's like certain lakes, it's like, I don't know. I'm learning not to have my stuff tied on in the morning, though, so anyone doesn't peer over in the boat.
little strategy.
I
hear you. You can always do what I like to do, and that's put some cloth around there so they can't see it.
Oh, right.
It just kind of covers it up. But at the same time, you got to watch them hooks.
Exactly.
So, now, what has been the most challenging lake that you have fished?
Lucas by far.
And where is that at for somebody that doesn't know like me?
Down near Macon. It's about
Oh, that's right. It's the water reserve down there.
right. It's like the
Actually, I've
Bibb
heard
County.
some neat things about that. It's got hybrids in that lake.
Yeah, I think they got stripers too.
Yeah.
Yeah. My partner now, I've been fishing with Watt Keller a lot, and he likes that lake. But my first run out there, I was with my other partner, and neither one of us had ever fished it before the tournament, and it just gave us fits. I mean, that, and that was like my worst weigh-in day. I weighed in one fish that day, so.
Is that a deep lake?
It's deep, yeah. It's got
Is that part of the challenge to it?
Well, the day that we were there was, so cold, and the wind was blowing us all over the place, and
Well, it's just a challenging day in general, unless you're striper fishing.
Oh yeah, unless you're just kind of like letting the wind just tote your baits around, just holding on any kind of point. And my boat, I've got 4 trolling motors on it, and that day it was I couldn't hold anything. I certainly didn't hold many fish, that's for sure. But I did weigh in my 1, so that was been the worst so far.
I got you.
Yeah.
Bass on bed right now, I'm guessing still.
They were last week, but maybe we're moving a little bit into the post spawn now. I was out doing a little pre-fishing, and we smacked the snot out of the little 1 and 2 pounders. Went out to Horton, and but there wasn't really any size. Now they say that Horton doesn't have any big fish in it either, but I mean, I know that there's some bigger ones out there than I caught. I was out with a buddy, and he had a pretty nice one, break him off at the boat. He just kind of came unbuttoned at the boat, if you will. Didn't break him off.
The only thing I've ever heard about Horton is the horror stories of the Bank Federale.
Don't know anything about that.
You don't want to, from what I understand.
Yeah, tell me after my tournament there. Tell me after.
Hey, as long as you're complying with everything and then some, and don't have an electric motor that looks like a gas motor, and you'll probably be in good shape. But.
Yeah, I saw someone out there actually that had they were in a bass boat actually. They had their motor trimmed up and a cover over it, but you can't do that in all the other water supplies. I mean, I know that. So. Breaking the law. Breaking the law.
Yeah, always a rebel somewhere.
Yes, exactly. But we came up to the boat ramp and saw a couple of people, and they were like, "How'd you do?" I was like, "Oh, we caught 30, 29, 30." And they're, wow, like the other people they'd pulled off, they hadn't caught anything. I was like, well, whatever. I mean, that was really cool because I'd never fished Horton before. And to get out there, and with my buddy, Todd, he'd never fished there either. So for us to get on him like that was pretty cool.
Right on. Excellent. Well, we're going to take a commercial break, come back, continue talking with Jennifer Spell, a.k.a. Bayou Betty, about the Southern John Boat Anglers. Still to come later on this morning, Chris Madrid with the Dixie Wing Commemorative Air Force. Going to be talking about World War II Heritage Days. And Captain Cy Graycar going to be talking to us from the water. We're giving him time to get some live action going. I'm wanting to hear a 6500 or something there of the nature burning in the background while we talk pandemonium. That's what we're looking for here on a Saturday morning on Georgia Outdoors Radio on 92.5 The Bear. Kemp's Dalton West Flooring is now this area's exclusive source for the new HGTV Home Flooring Collection by Shaw. The HGTV Home Flooring Collection was designed along with Shaw to offer customers the latest in flooring fashions in fresh, easy-to-coordinate colors and in a streamlined display system that simplifies the selection process. It takes all the guesswork out of your decorating. 3 names you can trust for your floor: HGTV, Shaw, and Kemp's Dalton West Flooring, 7 Jefferson Parkway in Noonan. And for specials and coupon savings, visit DaltonWest.com.
If your four-wheeler, side-by-side, or motorcycle has been sitting all winter, bring it by SMF Cycles for a spring service. SMF Cycles certified technicians service and repair all makes from Hondas to Harleys to Polaris. Now for a limited time, stop by SMF Cycles and pick up a free visor cleaning kit. It's their way of saying happy spring riding. While you're there, be sure to check out their selection of four-wheelers, side-by-sides, motorcycles, and scooters. SMF Cycles, Jackson Street in downtown Noonan, or online at smfcycles.com.
If you're shopping for a mattress and don't mind a little blemish, visit Good Gittins in Noonan, where you can get mattresses starting at $99 and savings up to 90% off retail list prices. Good Gittins offers mattresses that may have minor blemishes, seconds, overstocks, discontinued, or other, all inspected by the manufacturer and authorized for resale. Good Gittins has a huge selection of mattresses, and new shipments are arriving weekly. Mattresses starting at just $99 at Good Gittins at 152 Temple Avenue. Look for the Good Gorilla in Noonan.
Hey, Bear Country, it's Matt from Small Town Pizza in Sonoy. You know, I feed a lot of people, especially Cadillac and Uncle Rich.
Hey, there's a reason for that. When you got the best pizza in town, we want to eat it, right, Uncle Rich?
Hey, now, and not only the best pizza, don't forget about the wings, the subs, the lasagna. It's the place to eat in Sonoy. You can check out the entire menu at smalltownpizza.com.
Or give them a call at 770-599-1226 for Matt's Small Town Pizza in Sonoy.
The Valero Community Store in Stockbridge is inviting you out this Saturday for a great big all-day party. Join 92.5 The Bear as they broadcast live noon until 2 on Saturday. Tim Rose and Company will have prizes, goodies, and more. There'll be food, inflatables, and clowns for the kids, face painting, and more. And in-store specials, the fire trucks and police cars will be on site for the kids to enjoy. It's the Valero Community Store in Stockbridge, 1080 Jodico Road. Come on out Saturday for a big Rollin' Radio Roadshow remote from noon until 2. Valero, your community store.
This is Brenda Mitchell, Executive Director of Savannah Court in Noonan. My staff and I treat your loved ones like they were our family. We're available 24 hours a day, offer free scheduled transportation, weekly linen and housekeeping services, and phone. Cable and pets are offered. Savannah Court offers special treatment for memory loss residents too. Find out more. Visit SavannahCourtNoonan.com or call me at 770-251-6639. 770-251-6639.
This is Georgia Outdoors Radio with Brad Myers on The Bear 92.5.
Georgia Outdoors Radio here on 92.5 The Bear. Brad Myers along with you. Thanking you for waking up with us this morning. Talking some fishing. I'm going to talk with our friend Jennifer Spell, a.k.a. Bayou Betty. And there you go. Just pull it down a little bit. There you go. Now you are right into that thing. And anyway, we're talking about the Southern John Boat Anglers and the tournament trails you're fishing on. Now, for somebody that's not familiar with Southern John Boat Anglers, I pretty much have it down in a nutshell. It's just folk that enjoy tournament fishing but don't have the luxury of a big boat or want to go to the bigger reservoirs that want to fish smaller lakes.
Right, it's a lot more economical.
Yeah, it's the best
Who can
way to
afford
put it.
gas right now, right?
Really? They're not all electric lakes only that you fish, though, right? You do fish some small
Correct.
outboard lakes.
Stone Mountain has been, since the tour or the trail started this year, Stone Mountain's been the only one that we've been able to use the gas motor. And that was funny. That was a fun day. We had problems with the gas motor too, so it's always something.
Especially if you hadn't used it in a while, you know.
Well, we went out and pre-fished a little bit. My outboard is a 1955 Evinrude 7.5 horsepower, beautiful Art Deco motor.
I was going to say that's a classic there.
Yeah, she's great, and I call her Bayou Betty. That's Bayou Betty's back because my boat's Bayou Betty.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Anyway, she got an earful from me the day before. I went by DeKalb Marine, and they always work on my motor, and they've just about done everything to her. But she's pretty simple, but you kind of have to be an engineer to tinker with those old ones. You got to get the valve, the gas flow when the idle, and then the main gas flow just right. Anyway, my buddy had borrowed a 9.9 with a long shaft, and I don't know, it was a prop was spinning, and we were having issues. But you just go through it. It's cool. I mean.
So what happened to the old 55? What was wrong with it?
Operational error.
We've experienced that here on the show.
Okay, the truth is I had let someone use it in a movie, and the actor who drove my boat was driving it back to me and decided it'd be cool to play with those knobs, and they, I have them set just right.
He leaned them out because those things were kind of sensitive to adjustments.
Yes, very. So I, needless to say, did not think about, I wasn't the last person to drive this thing. So, yeah. And of course, I went to see
fix.
Bob over at DeKalb Marine, and of course, boom, he cranks it right up. I'm like, he goes, "Did you mess with the knobs?" And I was like, "I didn't, but somebody else did." And I just spent like, I must have pulled it like 100 times. Yeah.
Wow. So, but at least, like I said, it was a cheap fix.
It was a cheap fix, yes. Yeah. And yeah, the guys over at DeKalb Marine take care of me. They look out for me because, you know, you're on what is BOAT? What does that stand for?
Bust out another 1,000.
Correct. So.
And it don't matter how big or small that boat is.
It doesn't, because when it comes to fixing something, if it's got anything to do with a boat, it's going to cost more.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So, but that, you know, all that stuff, it kind of like, you know, oh, well, this didn't happen, and this, and if I hadn't have done this, and you know, my partner and I, and we are just like, you know, I'm in the top 10 though. Finally.
I was looking at the standings there the other day, and I saw that you were in the top 10.
Yep, in the top 10. I would have been.
And that's pretty good because considering this is your first year of tournament fishing.
Right. Correct. And you know, and a lot of times when I'm out there fishing, some of these reservoirs are brand new to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, it has been an advantage having a new partner. I mean, in that he used to fish the trail, so.
Now, this particular trail or a different one?
I believe it was this one. I believe he fished with Southern John Boats, but he may have fished. He's fished a lot, but he retired in '09, so I brought him out of retirement to help me out.
You drug out a ringer.
Right. Because one of my besties, who was my tournament partner, Ryan, he works over at Kennesaw Bait and Tackle. And if it's sunny outside, he's slinging bait. He's delivering bait all over Georgia, well, North Georgia, but as far as probably the line.
So he is our bait man.
He's our bait
man. When we see that bait truck come rolling in with all them fine rosy reds, crappie minnows, then he's the one delivering for Kennesaw. Because Kennesaw pretty much handles all the bait for all the surrounding bait shops from the north side down to here.
Correct. Yeah, he was down there Macon, I think, and he goes down to High Falls,
right,
and all the way up. I can't tell you how far up, but you know, I've rode around in the truck with him. We've gone to the trout farm,
that's
know,
sweet.
and then brought him in, and that's a lot of fun.
Right on.
Yeah. So anyway, gotten the new partner, and that's working out. And it's actually been very convenient because he likes using his boat. So Bayou Betty gets to sit at home a lot. But but I just want to say thanks, Watt. I appreciate you using your boat, all the time.
Now, let me ask you this. You got into this not knowing a whole bunch about bass fishing. You started learning, I guess, last year before?
Yeah, year before. I'd never bass fished before.
So now that you're into the tournament thing, what things have you learned to help you with your bass fishing success that you weren't doing before?
Having the right rod, the right line, the right everything, you know, getting all the components.
Now, what do you mean by right rod? Because, you know, I remember as a kid growing up that, you know, you just basically had one rod that you went out and fished with.
Right.
Now, rods are specifically made for certain types of applications, whether you're throwing, you know, big crankbaits or, you know, flipping a jig.
Right.
You know, all these different things. The action is different than rods. So just kind of, if you would, you know, I'm just explain to the listener what your aspect is on that, or what you're talking about there for those that aren't familiar with it, because, you know, bass fishing now has gotten to be like fly fishing. Those rods are specifically made for certain things.
Correct. And, you know, just like when you're a kid, I mean, that's how I started out. I just, you know, a couple of years ago, throwing the old Zebco again. And, but, you know, as I got into it, I got a good spinning rod, shaky head rod, a 7-foot, you know, medium action or fast action medium rod. And then there's like medium heavy, and then I'm still learning it all too. But when you get it in your hand and it feels just right, you know, with the certain lure, then you know you've got it, you know, worked out. And you know, you got your top water rods and your crankbait rods and your jig rods, and you know, with a jig, you know, you want to have some backbone. My problem, one of my biggest, like, I want to kick myself so hard, and I probably would be in, like, you know, maybe 6th place if I hadn't have, but I allowed myself to use the wrong rod, and I was missing fish. and it's because I was using a flimsy. It was a finesse rod with, very, very. Oh, it just makes me sick to think about it. But anyway, I lost 3 fish at Stone
Now,
Mountain.
what'd you have tied on this? Because flimsy, I'm thinking you're going to need something, a fine wire hook, almost like a jig type thing.
Oh yeah, no, not me. No, I had on like some 5 Gamakatsu big ol', honking hook. I mean, might as well have been a trocar. It was so heavy.
Fishing a big plastic, huh?
Yes, and I missed.
Yeah, that don't work.
No, it doesn't. No, and then we caught 2 more fish. I mean, it was just, but the ones that I lost, as soon, Watt was like, here. I threw a different rod and boom, caught another one. And unfortunately that was, it was like they were gone after that. We sat in that hole for a while but I had it. I had the color. I had the bait.
It's sickening to know that there's big fish to be there and be caught, and you don't have the right gear to do it.
Right.
I had something similar happen to me up in Canada. We were perch fishing, and normally you're catching perch, and then all of a sudden when they quit biting, there means a pike have showed up, and the pike are down there feeding on the perch, and the perch are not going to bite anymore. They're hiding in the grass. Well, all of a sudden we start getting perch snatched off our hooks, and we figure, this is a sign of pike showing up. But the perch didn't quit biting. They kept biting. And finally, bringing up one of the perch, I saw what was down there snagging them. And it was a pair of smallmouth, and the female had to have been close to 7 pounds.
Wow.
Which for up in Canada, that's a good-sized smallmouth. I mean, they were really big. Biggest one I'd ever seen. And these fish were just staying right up underneath the boat, feeding on these perches. We were trying to bring them up. Needless to say, I ended up getting a small perch up past these fish. I snatched it up real quick and got it up out of the water, rehooked it, and dropped it back down in there. I had that big sow hooked at least 3 different times. But you got to remember, I'm using now a 6-inch piece of live bait with an ultralight rod that was about 4 foot in length.
Oh my gosh.
It don't work.
No.
I mean, my best bet would have been to let the fish swallow it. But, when you're watching this action happening on the surface with this 7-pound smallmouth trying to crush it, it is just too much excitement. Your heart can't take it, and your reflexes don't sit still long enough. It's worse than zero spook fishing.
Exactly. I mean, it's such an emotional gamut that you run when you...
You can relate.
I can relate to that so much. And then you'll see them. You'll see those big heifers. They'll be down there, and you'll throw all kinds of stuff. You'll see their big little arches on the screen, and they just you see it float by. They don't want anything to do with it, and it'll frustrate you. And then whenever you're actually getting them to hit, and you're throwing the wrong rod, it's just disgusting.
People talk about match the hatch. You got to match that equipment too.
Exactly. And so that's been a big learning curve. But I know this. I mean, I know this when I'm out pleasure fishing. I'm just like, oh yeah, But when you're tournament fishing, you're just like
you're under the gun,
you're
and,
under the gun, and
sometimes your mind doesn't think as freely and as openly as it should, because you're pressured.
Right.
Now you're thinking under pressure, and you got stress added to that because you're wanting to do well.
Exactly.
And the clock is ticking.
The clock is ticking.
And the fish are being finicky.
Yes. Well, this last tournament we had out at Varner, it was actually one of my best days, as far as like me catching all the fish.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, my partner caught, some as well, but I mean, I felt like confident, and I was just, I was working it out, if you will, but I was so exhausted and tired and stressed, and, but they say sometimes, that's your best fishing.
One never knows.
One never knows. I mean,
I know I've performed real well when the boss has been breathing down my neck in the past. So, fish kind of the same thing in fishing success. Hey, we're here at the point where we need to take a quick break. Talking with Jennifer Spell, a.k.a. Bayou Betty from the Southern John Boat Anglers, back with more Georgia Outdoors Radio as we roll along here on a Saturday morning on 92.5 The Bear.
Howdy, this is your old gardening buddy Buckshot here for Arnold Grocery in Noonan with a weeding tip for you. But before that, if you're doing anything with your garden, you'll find what you need at Arnold Grocery, like a huge selection of seeds. Purple Hull peas, rattlesnake green beans, and Silver Queen corn, available from a quarter pound up to a pound, and small packets too. Arnold has bonnie plants, seed potatoes, and onion sets. You can also get bulk potting soil, manure, fertilizers, insecticides, herbicides, and all kinds of sprayers too, including lawn care products and seed as well. Now here's that weeding tip. If it comes up easy, it ain't no weed. Arnold Grocery, 32 East Washington Street, Noonan, or online at arnoldgrocery.com.
Gear up for baseball and softball at Noonan Ace Hardware. They've got a big selection of 2013 bats in stock with more arriving weekly. Bats from Easton, Mizuno, Worth, TPX, and DeMarini. Noonan Ace also has the area's biggest selection of catcher's gear. Brands like Diamond, Easton, TPX, and Mizuno. At Noonan Ace, they even have Trump X-Rock softballs plus a wide variety of safety masks for girls softball. Special orders are available too. Get great prices on top quality baseball and softball gear at Noonan Ace Hardware, located at Turkey Creek and Poplar Road in Noonan.
When you need tires, you may shop around. So if you are shopping tires, let me make it easy for you. Check Binion Tire and Automotive in Noonan first. They carry Michelin, BF Goodrich, Uniroyal, and other great brands. Plus, you'll usually find sale prices or manufacturer rebates on various brand tires. Binion Tire and Automotive is my car care center, and the same can be said for a lot of folks. A whole lot of folks, since Binion Tire's been around for over 50 years. Shopping tires? Make your first stop Binion Tire and Automotive, Greenville Street in Spence and Noonan, or BinionTire.com.
A date which will live in infamy.
Watch history come alive at the 2013 World War II Heritage Days, April 27th and 8th at Peachtree City's Falcon Field. This commemorative Air Force event features World War II era displays, vehicles, aircraft, and reenactors. You'll get a chance to see Allied troops take on the European and Pacific Axis forces. Get your tickets early for our Saturday night hangar dance featuring swing music by the Peachtree Jazz Edition. For more information, see wwiidays.org or call the Dixie Wing 678-364-1110. Activities start at 9 a.m. both days. See you there.
Get your junk gone, call the king of junk removal, Junk King. Junk King provides dependable junk removal and hauling services to clear unwanted clutter from your home or business. Not only is Junk King the most reliable junk removal service, but they also make a commitment to the environment by recycling at least 70% of the junk they collect. Junk King is here to give you your kingdom back. They offer king-size junk removal services, king-size value, king-size convenience, and most of all, king-size satisfaction. Junk King will haul off all your unwanted items from residential or commercial properties. No matter where your clutter is located, they can get it. You tell them what you want gone, then sit back and relax. And Junk King is the greenest removal service. If it can be recycled, they will take care of it. Do your part to clean up Bear Country. Call Junk King today at 800-995-JUNK or visit junkking.com. Call 800-995-JUNK today. Your junk could be gone tomorrow. That's 800-995-JUNK. 800-995-JUNK or junkking.com.
Another hour of South Metro's Best Country starts right now. WEKS-FM, Zebulon, Georgia, South Metro's community station.
You're listening to Georgia Outdoors Radio with Brad Myers on the Bear 92.5.
Georgia Outdoors Radio. Brad Myers in with you, taking a quick check of that Bear Country forecast for us weather-wise. What's it going to be like? Well, patchy frost this morning. Other than that, look for a sunny day. High is going to be in the mid-60s. Winds out of the northwest, 5 to 15 miles an hour, and gust up to 25 tonight. Mostly clear. Evening lows down around 37. Continued breezy through tomorrow, as we'll see daytime highs up near 68. And mostly sunny. Right now, we are checking in with 40 outside in Bear Country, joined in the studio by Bayou Betty, a.k.a. Jennifer Spell. Well, actually, it's the other way around. Jennifer Spell, also known as Bayou Betty, and talking about the Southern John Boat Anglers. And joining us on the phone right now is the president of the club, Southern John Boat Anglers. He's out actually fishing on Lake Oconee, and we might even get a Lake Oconee report, be a first one here in a while on Georgia Outdoors Radio. Good morning, sir.
How you doing?
Doing just fine. How are you?
A little chilly out here on Lake Oconee this morning, but it's the wind's not too bad right now, but it's going to be up gusty today.
I understand that completely. All right, well, y'all out there fishing Oconee, and we're going to, of course, talk about the Southern John Boat anglers, but I got to get a fishing report from you. What's going on with Oconee? I understand the hybrids are biting real good now, and y'all out there bass fishing, so what's hot and what's not?
Well, right now the fish are on, they coming up for a pre-spawn area right now up on the seawalls with rocky points and stuff. And I was down here Thursday to pre-fish, and we caught about 9 keepers, and every one we caught was off the shaky heads on rocky banks.
Really? So does that mean the shad spawn is going on right now?
Yeah. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
That would make complete sense. Now, with the shad spawn going on like that, I imagine you're going to stick with that shaky head throughout, at some point today. What's your strategy to start off the day?
Well, right now I'm throwing a buzz bait and a spinner bait around the docks and hitting little piers up on the docks and stuff, trying to get a reaction bite off of one of these big ones. But water temperature right now is right at 60 degrees, 62, 63, so it's we ain't even landed the fish yet.
Yeah, I was going to say it might be a little tough today with that little cold snap triggering that topwater bite, even though it hadn't been cold that long, still cold enough, and for whatever reason, them fish seem to know what's going on with that.
That's it. They know what weather and the pressure is and all that.
Absolutely. Well, that sounds good, and we're glad to hear that some action's going on Oconee. But want to, of course, talk about the Southern John Boat anglers. And Jennifer and I have been talking a little bit about her experience fishing with the organization and her first year with that. If you would, as a president, talk a little bit about the history of the Southern John Boat anglers and how the club came about.
Well, it was happening in 1987, 86. I was in 3 different bass clubs, and one morning I got up and I had $500 bills in my pocket, and I said, I came home and I was broke. And I said, it's got to be a different way to fish.
Mm-hmm.
So me and my buddies, we was fishing down in a little place down here in Marvin Farms, and we was doing John boats, and it was cheaper and everything. And back in them days, 87, 88, it was cheaper. And we started the John Boat Trail, and they opened up Varner back in 1990, and then we started fishing Stone Mountain. Then they opened up Black Shoals and Lake Horton and all that down in Fayette County reservoirs, and it just been history. It wound up being a hobby, and now it's a job.
Now it's a full-time job, huh? And I'm guessing you get anglers participating from all over because kind of a unique tournament trail.
Yeah, we got it's gone, pretty wide now. We got John Boat tournament trails in Alabama. We got them in South Carolina, North Carolina, in Georgia, and it's getting bigger. It came a long ways in the last 10 years.
Do you see a lot more of younger people participating in these type of tournaments than you would, say, a normal bass tournament?
Oh no, let me tell you, it ranges from 18 years old to 65 years old.
So,
and I'm in that 60-year-old bracket.
And that's the great thing about it, it's affordable just about for anybody. And even if you don't have a boat, just like other tournament trails, I'm sure you have people that fish that are looking for a partner, or you partner people up.
Yeah, well, what we do, we let them bring their own partners. We don't draw for partners. It's your responsibility to bring your own partners and see, and it's just a good, affordable day. I mean, you can't go to a movie and eat pizza for $25.
Okay.
And
right.
And the whole thing of it is, your entry fee is $25, and in a John Boat Trail, so that's real affordable. And then you ain't got a $60,000 or $70,000 bass boat out there drinking $200 worth of gas.
That's right.
That's right.
Now, as far as the entry fees, of course, obviously a lot lower. What kind of prizes are awarded? Is there cash payouts in these tournaments? How does all that work?
Well, it depends on how many boats shows up. If for every 10 boat we pay a place.
Mm-hmm.
We pay a place for every 10 boats, we give first place, and then 15 boats second place, third. It is every 5 boats makes a place.
I got you.
So it's every 5. Okay, I was just like, your math isn't right, Rick.
He's trying to fish too, you know.
I know.
The man is multitasking.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, if you do catch a fish while we're on the air, feel free to show excitement, and if you have to drop the phone, we'll fill in for you until you get it lipped and
That'll be fine.
on the boat.
Yeah. They out here right now. I just saw one jump, probably about 3.5 pounds.
All right, so just starting to wake up a little bit. Maybe that buzz bait will get them triggered.
Yeah, I hope so.
We were talking with Henry Cowan about Lake Lanier bass fishing earlier, and he said get way up in that grass with them baits.
Yes, sir. Yeah, you got to get up on the. If you don't hit the bank and come into the water, you ain't fishing shallow enough.
Yep, I had a buddy that used to say that when we'd toss. I guess it was Bomber Long A's for stripers that night. He said, if you wasn't getting snagged on the bank every now and then, you ain't fishing close enough.
That's it. You got to be shallow. 2 inches of water is where you need to be.
Exactly. Now, the Southern John Boat Anglers, how many members are in that club particularly?
Well, it ranges every year. We can have up to 50 to 60, we've have up to 150 teams at a time in 1 year.
And about how many tournaments a year do you fish?
We fish anywhere between 12 to 15 tournaments a year.
I got you. And
so, we just make it affordable for the guys, the everyday guy who's working Monday through Friday.
Or girl, Rick, or girl. Let's not be all sexist here.
You know she's going to get you right.
We still want you in it now. We still want you there.
Yeah, I know. You just want to take my money. That's what it is. No.
Is this one of the guys you were talking about earlier said he takes your money every week?
No.
Well, he should. He's a club president.
Yeah, but I've fished with Rick before. He doesn't know how to fish.
That's it. You know what? I'm one of them guys that want to be a fisherman. That's it. I just started this hobby 2 weeks ago.
Well, hopefully you'll figure something out there. Being the club president will put you in a pristine position at least.
Well, I don't know about that. I just like the competition. Everybody's got their own thing. People like football, some like baseball. I like fishing. And I fished with Larry Munson for years, and he tried to get me to go to a Georgia football game. I told him I wasn't interested in it. And he said, Burns, that be people give their right arm to do that.
And you probably became Munson's hero when you told him that. I know.
Yeah.
I've had the pleasure of talking to Larry on umpteen occasions in my many years of broadcasting. Larry's done quite a few commercials for me in the past while he was alive, and I always look forward to calling Larry to ask him about doing the commercial, because we would talk about 10 seconds worth of business, and the rest of the time was all fishing. And Larry loved to talk about fishing. If I wanted to call up and talk about UGA, I'd probably get about 10 seconds of talk out of him. Yeah. If I called up Larry and wanted to talk about fishing, we could go all day long. That man truly loved to fish. He was not only an icon to the sport of Georgia football, but a true icon to those that knew his passion and love for fishing.
Yep, that's true. That's exactly right.
Well, I was going to ask you now, Rick, and we're talking with Rick Burns from the Southern John Boat Anglers. And, Rick, this time of year, what should anglers remember and think about when they're trying to be successful in bass fishing, whether it's a tournament or just going down to the neighborhood pond?
You just look at it like this. You're going fishing. Make it be fun. Don't be so serious about it. I've been fishing all my life. I'm 55 years old, and I started when I was 15. And it's just you got to make it happen. You got to have fun. You don't be so serious about it. And some of the guys take it so serious, and they come home and they say, "Oh, I didn't do good." Well, it'll be another tournament. You just got to look at it that way. And it just go out there and have fun. You fishing. You ain't working.
You got that right. And I was just going to ask you, too, as far as fishing strategies, You know, somebody that's new starting out fishing, maybe going down to the neighborhood pond, struggling down there catching some bass. For this type of year, what's a good type of bait for them to be throwing?
Right now, to me, you can't beat a shaky head, and it's it's no way you can, go wrong with a shaky head. And the second bait would be a spinner bait, and just throw it, around the banks and stuff like that. You can't fish a spinnerbait wrong. You can't fish a shaky head wrong.
You got that right. I think spinnerbait fishing for largemouth, if I'm going to fish conventional tackle, is my favorite way to go. I love fishing spinnerbait simply because it's like fishing for dummies. It doesn't take a whole lot of intelligence or finesse to throw the bait out there and bring it back in. Kind of like the old do-nothing worm or dum-dum worm, if you will.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Years ago, you're talking about that do-nothing worms. We used to fish it down at West Point.
Right.
And a friend of mine, I've been knowing him for years, Tommy Mike, had a lot of them do-nothing worms.
You got
What are
that
those
right.
do-nothing
And
worms?
you should see, I was going to say, you should see the look on Jennifer's face right now. I got introduced to those jokers when I was living down on Lake Seminole at Jack Wingate's, and he told me, he said, it was some of the different type of fishing we were going to be doing while we were down there, and he said, one of the things you're going to be throwing is a dum-dum worm. I said, Jack, I know quite a bit about fishing, but I ain't never heard of this dum-dum worm.
Well, you just
What
dead
is
stick
it?
it? Are you dead sticking the bait?
He shows me this bait, and I said,
bait?
you got to be kidding. That's what we're going to be throwing. I said, I have laughed at that thing many a time, seeing it on the shelf at the tackle store. Said, there's no way anything's going to hit it. It is a straight stick, a piece of plastic worm with two hooks buried in it and a little string coming out of it. And I said, it don't have no action to it. And he said, that's why it's called a dum-dum worm. You throw it out there and you bring it on in. You don't have to give it no action. I was blown away by how many fish them kids would catch with that dum-dum rig.
Hey, Rick.
Don't you have some of those in your console? Didn't you show me some of those dum-dum worms?
I have some in my little tackle box at the house.
Yeah, I thought I'd seen them. Actually, I picked up some dum-dum worms the other day.
And the way they would fish those is Carolina rig with about a 3-foot leader on there, and just toss it out and then reel it in slowly. There was nothing to it. The worm had no action, but it had just enough action under the water that those bass would go nuts over it. And just, it was a unique type of bait for me because it's something I'd seen a bunch, but there was no way I would ever throw it until I was forced to. Kind of like a Little George. When I first saw Little George, I thought, there's no way anything's going to be eating this big clunky piece of lead, and just a deadly, deadly bait in certain applications. So
That's it.
one can never be too prejudgmental when it comes to fishing.
That's it.
Awesome deal. Well, Rick, we certainly appreciate you taking time out. Now, if anglers want to get involved with the Southern John Boat Anglers, how do they go about doing so, and, what's involved in that?
Oh, all they have to do is go on our website. It's southernjohnboat.com. Yeah, that's it. And they can go on there, and if you'll pull over on the thing that says contact, they'll see my number there, and they can contact us by email, or they can contact us by phone. My phone number's on there. It's 404-379-4656. And our next tournament's next Saturday at Lake Horton down in Fayetteville, Georgia.
Yep, just right down the road from us here, down here in Bear Country. And even though you're into your tournament season, if somebody wants to get involved, it's not too late. I mean, there's no pressure for, high points or anything like that, is there? They get in, get involved, and it doesn't matter when during the season. If that's something you want to do it.
Yeah.
Is there is there any age restriction as far as if a parent and child wants to fish?
Well, as a parent and a child, we let, I think it's 12 or 14-year-old kids fish for free if he's with a legal guardian. We don't have a problem with that, but you need to be at least 18 years old to fish by yourself.
Right on.
And that's, correction, it's southernjohnboatanglers.com.
.com.
Yeah,
Okay.
Southern John Boat Anglers. Yep.
And people
Thank you very much, Dave.
She got your back out there.
Yeah, she's taking my cover for me.
There you go. Well, Rick, we certainly appreciate you taking time out with us this morning. Wishing you the best of luck out there on your tournament trail today on Oconee. And hopefully we can get you back on the air with us soon and maybe get you in the studio again to talk more about Southern John Boat Anglers.
All right. Thank you for calling.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Good luck, Rick.
All right.
Thank you, Jeff. Bye.
Taking a quick break, back with more Georgia Outdoors Radio. Going to talk to Captain Cy Graycar, a little bit of Carter's Lake, Etowah River, and Coosa. All that coming up here on 92.5 The Bear.
For over 30 years, Kemp's Dalton West Flooring has been committed to customer satisfaction and low prices.
Hi, I'm Chris Kemp. My family has owned and operated Kemp's Dalton West Flooring since 1976. I promise you the lowest prices on any product we sell. I promise you the absolute best service and installation experience.
Kemp's Dalton West Flooring continues to maintain a strong commitment to our community.
I also promise to invest a portion of your hard-earned money back in our community. Why would you let anyone else handle your floor covering needs? On behalf of our family to yours, Kemp's Dalton West Flooring promises you the best prices, the best installation, and the best service guaranteed.
Kemp's Dalton West Flooring with locations in Noonan, Peachtree City, and LaGrange.
If your four-wheeler, side-by-side, or motorcycle has been sitting all winter, bring it by SMF Cycles for a spring service. SMF Cycles certified technicians service and repair all makes from Hondas to Harleys to Polaris. Now for a limited time, stop by SMF Cycles and pick up a free visor cleaning kit. It's their way of saying happy spring riding. While you're there, be sure to check out their selection of four-wheelers, side-by-sides, motorcycles, and scooters. SMF Cycles, Jackson Street in downtown Noonan, or online at smfcycles.com.
Hey, Bear Country, it's Matt from Small Town Pizza in Sonoy. You know, I feed a lot of people, especially Cadillac and Uncle Rich.
Hey, there's a reason for that. When you got the best pizza in town, we want to eat it, right, Uncle Rich?
Hey, now, and not only the best pizza, don't forget about the wings, the subs, the lasagna. It's the place to eat in Sonoy. You can check out the entire menu at smalltownpizza.com.
Or give them a call at 770-599-1226 for Matt, Small Town Pizza in Sonoy.
If you're shopping for a mattress and don't mind a little blemish, visit Good Gittins in Noonan, where you can get mattresses starting at $99 and savings up to 90% off retail list prices. Good Gittins offers mattresses that may have minor blemishes, seconds, overstocks, discontinued, or other, all inspected by the manufacturer and authorized for resale. Good Gittins has a huge selection of mattresses, and new shipments are arriving weekly. Mattresses starting at just $99 at Good Gittins at 152 Temple Avenue. Look for the Good Gorilla in Noonan.
It's never too early to shift into summer at Super Summit 2013. Shift into summer this Saturday, April 20th at Summit Racing Equipment in McDonough. Admission to this high-octane event is free. Spend the day with other horsepower fans and check out some of Atlanta's best hot rods, muscle cars, trucks, and customs. Cruise the manufacturer's midway from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. for the latest performance products. Get tech advice from over 100 manufacturers. Save big on parts and accessories all weekend long with sales and specials in the Summit Racing Retail Superstore. Get in the virtual driver's seat with the Summit Racing Power Experience Simulator. See the Summit Bigfoot monster truck and meet the driver. Plus, there's food, music, prizes, and much, much more. Shift into summer at Super Summit 2013 this Saturday, April 20th. Customer parking on site. Summit Racing Equipment. I-75 exit 216 in McDonough. Open 9 to 9 every day.
Now more of Georgia Outdoors Radio with Brad Myers on the Bear 92.5.
Georgia Outdoors Radio. Brad Myers along with you. And special guest in the studio, Jennifer Spell, Bayou Betty, and we're talking about the Southern John Boat Anglers. Right now, it's time to head out onto the water. Once again, this time, we're heading up to Lake Altoona, the north end of the lake, the Etowah River, and Captain Cy Graycar. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, bud. How you doing today?
Man, if I got any better, I couldn't stand myself, and Jennifer couldn't stand to be in here with me.
Miss Bayou in there with you?
What's up, Cy?
Well, is your phone broke?
No, I have been getting the messages. Have you not been getting mine? I'm like, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Yeah, right.
I've been complimenting all those
Boy,
huge stripers
you
your
ain't
clients have
leaving
been.
me no messages saying let's go fishing.
Oh, now. I've certainly been seeing those big ones you and your clients have been getting on.
Oh, geez, that was a great day.
Oh my gosh, that was insane.
An awesome thing, it's funny because I didn't realize when I saw your pictures of your fishing trip. I believe the gentleman you were fishing with was Matt that day. Not only did you guys have a bunch of fish, but you had some huge fish. But the scenery in the background, it wasn't until the second or third time I looked at that picture, I was like, my God, look at that setting in the background. I knew exactly where you were at, but so picturesque. It's been so long since I've been up to Carter's Lake. And, if you didn't catch a doggone thing on that lake, you still had a great day if you were out there.
Man, you really did. I mean, and that picture just shows it. If anybody listening hadn't seen it yet, you go to extremestripers.com and link over to my Facebook from there. There's a picture of me. I'm the ugly guy in the green shirt and the green rubber deadliest catch style bibs.
Si, you're such a liar.
Matt holding up about a 20. I think that was a 24 pounder or so.
Right.
And the scenery in the background is just absolutely amazing.
Jennifer just called you a liar. What is he a liar about?
He says
Being
that he
ugly?
looks like an ugly old dude, but
my wife would argue that tooth and nail. She thinks
my
he's
mother-in-law,
the hottest thing out there.
I took my mother-in-law fishing with Si the day after Thanksgiving. She was like, "Oh, he's like a Kevin Costner. Oh, he's so nice to look at." I'm just like, okay, easy, woman, easy.
Hey, Kevin Costner, now that's not a bad analogy, People refer to me as Nick Nolte, so. No, actually, Gary Busey.
That's pretty funny.
That's bad.
Yeah, we went up there and hit Carter's and got our bait and went out there, and I'll tell you what, it's a very, very strange bite out there right now, and it can be frustrating. Watch this middle one, Gary. That's cut bait too, so our cut bait's getting nervous right now. That rod's jiggling around with.
You gotta love it when cut bait gets to shaking.
Oh yeah, but anyways, we caught us a couple fish. Got into a couple areas, slammed a real nice, I think a 13-pound hybrid. Saw some activity down towards the dam and pulled around there and popped a 20, I think a 25, then a 19. Got probably about a 6-pound spotted bass. And I went and I looked at a couple areas, and I was cutting right across. Oh, back rod just got hit. Don't touch it yet. And I'm cutting across the big waters, and we were probably over about 200 feet of water, and I mean right about 3 feet away from the boat, a nice striper blew up. So I cut the motor off. I'm looking at the graph, ain't seeing nothing. I see another fish swirl, dump some lines out, and we didn't even get a full spread out, and I just heard a planer board rod just start rip and drag. And hooked up, boated a nice 22-pound fish, and I'm looking at the graph, and we're not marking nothing. I was seeing a fish blow up maybe about once an hour, but we were not marking a single fish, no bait, no nothing, over 200 feet of water, and just our free lines and planer boards were just getting ripped to pieces. I think we tripled twice, doubled, I think, 4 or 5 times. And, I mean, just put the hammer down on them. And I think we only had probably 2 or 3 fish under 20 pounds, man.
That's amazing. I've been on those type of bites that you talk about. You see the surface action. If it wasn't for the surface action, you'd go right by it. But to, not be able to mark fish or even bait and still be slaying the fish is just kind of mind-boggling. Why do you think that is? I mean, I've encountered it, but I can't put my finger on it.
Well, obviously they're feeding on some bait that's a little higher in the water column, so you're not marking the bait on the graph because it's not deep, and so the fish really aren't deep down there either. They're just and this has happened on Lanier. We did the Outdoor Without Limits last year about this time, and it was the same type of bite. Get out over 150 feet of water. And, I mean, if I would have went 20 feet further before that fish blew up, I would have missed him and went by all those fish. So you're not going to see a bunch of blow-ups. It's not like you're seeing schools blow up. I saw...
Yeah, they're like single
out of
fish.
All those fish that we saw, I bet you I saw maybe 4 or 5 fish swirl on the top, every 20, 30 minutes. So, it's a bite that you just got to go out and start pulling some open water. And when you get bit, just start working that area.
Right on. Well, what's the strategy for the day? You're fishing up there on the Etowah. You said the Coosa was blown out. I'm surprised the Etowah isn't, but obviously it's nice enough for you to be able to get up in there and enjoy some fishing today.
Oh, it is, man. The water's nice and clear. We just got set up when you called me. We've been bit a couple times already. The white bass are up here real thick. The hives are getting up here good. We're going to do a little combination fishing, man. We're gonna try to throw every play in the playbook at them. We're anchored up right now, fishing some live and cut shad on the bottom. We're going to fish that way, in some various spots that I've done well. We're going to pitch some shad towards the blowdowns, see if they're feeding a little higher in the water column. And then the third thing I do is, we'll pitch the jigs for the white bass. But when I'm doing that, I'll be drifting down the river, and I put a couple balloons out the back. Have some real nice big shad, about 6-7 feet behind the balloons, and that's how I get the big stripes up here a lot of times.
Right on.
And we'll be able to get some numbers of fish with the white bass, and then just casting and keeping an eye on those balloons. And normally when one hits one, you got a shot at a really, really good fish. Back rod, there he goes. He's on.
Action, live action. He got one on.
Oh, wait, listen.
Now we're listening to live action in the background.
You hear that drag going, man?
That's
Put
what
the
I
phone
want to
next
hear.
to the reel. Let's
I want to
hear
hear
it.
some scream. Well, that's live action. I can hear that.
Oh,
reel in the background.
he's screaming the drag. Work him out this
Your
way,
client
dude.
is like,
he's
whoa!
still going. I bet you he's pulled off 50 feet already. It's going to be a nice. We're fishing a pretty high current area. So
Now, was that a live bait rod
Probably
or
a nice fabric.
live bait or cut bait rod?
That was a live bait rod. He's still going down the river, dude.
That thing is freight
You're gonna have
training
to
right
crank
now.
up and chase him down. Pull up that anchor, Si.
Nah.
Nah.
Nah, we're gonna have some fun with this one.
Now, I made a comment.
He's being nice to us. He's way out in the center of the river.
Oh.
And he's oh no, he ain't working. Oh geez, he's still going. This may be a good fish.
You might be dropping anchor. It keeps that up.
Yeah, I may be hanging up.
Yeah.
No, you just set the phone down. We'll listen in the background.
Well, you're gonna have to. We got double live action. I'm reeling one in myself right now too.
All right.
This one's running upstream.
Running
He's
up.
tossing the boat up. Oh yeah. This one isn't as big. I'm gonna have him landed real quick.
But that's a good thing that he went upstream because you got the bigger one downstream. You don't need nothing getting in that line.
Yeah. Wait 1 second. Let me.
Keep your rod tip up. Keep your rod tip up.
Yeah, keep that line taut, boy.
I know, right? Keep your rod tip up.
One hybrid in the boat.
The thing about Si when you're fishing with him, he
What I'm with, he's still fighting his. I think his is a lot better though. Oh geez.
he's very to the point on what you need to do. He's not going to let you miss a fish, and if you do, well, that's saying something interesting about you.
Si would probably be not the mate you'd want on the boat if you were bottom fishing for grouper fish, especially if he was the one that was getting a paycheck from them fish.
Right.
You getting paid by the pound.
He is.
You don't
He's
wanna
like
lose no fish.
striper blood in his vein, as they say. He's got striper blood in his veins.
This fish is still 100 feet away.
Really?
Yeah, we're watching it. We're watching it swirl out in the center, and he's gaining 3-4 feet on it. Then it's taking another 2-3 feet back.
Well, you got any idea, guess on size of what you're dealing with out there?
What's that now? I'm sorry.
I'm getting a little feedback. You got us on speakerphone, I'm guessing, huh?
Okay, is that better?
Yeah, a little bit better there. Now I'm not getting the
Okay.
feedback. I was just going to say, you got a chance to get a gauge on the size of the fish that's on the line now, but based on these swirls you've seen.
I'm not sure, man. It's not coming all the way to the surface. I'm just seeing boils. And I know this. I just landed probably about a 4-pounder and released it already, and he's still fighting this one. This may be a big old 7-8 pound hybrid, or it could be a 15-pound striper. I'm just not sure.
One thing's for sure, it's not a big flathead the way you described that run.
Oh no! When it hit, it tried to snap the rod in half when it hit.
And
the one that I caught, it hit and actually ran upstream. I didn't catch up to it until it was about 3-4 feet from the boat, so I just flipped it right in the boat. I could have fought it more, but I figured with me being on the phone with you, I'll get this guy in the boat and get back to talking to you.
There you go. Well, we love that. I think the last big largemouth I caught was about 6 pounds, and it was up there in that river on a piece of cut bait that I just dropped over the side of the boat because I was working on something with the reel. That fish came up and hit it out of nowhere.
Oh yeah, it's a good fish, man.
Now you see.
Now we see it.
See some color now, huh?
Yeah, we got a striper here.
Awesome.
All right, harpoon that thing. Oh wait, that's the tuna fishing.
That's the tuna fishing,
Keep
right?
him in the water. Yeah, this is I'm gonna have to stop here in a second. Keep getting him up here.
Well,
we're
get some
going to let
scales
you
on
put
him.
the phone down, then we want you to get back on the phone with us and give us a report. So,
All right, stop right. Yeah, let me set it down right now.
all right, you set it down. Me and Jennifer will vamp for time for you.
All right.
Fill in, ad lib, if you will. And what we're doing is we're talking with Captain Cy Graycar for those that are listening that may have just tuned in or something.
Right, yep.
But Captain Cy is up on the Etowah River north of Altoona in some stomping grounds that I used to fish up there quite a bit. And he has got a good striper on the line. Now, I've seen some big striper come out of that water. Altoona itself.
Nice fish.
Altoona not known for having an abundance of big fish, but there's some big fish in
All right,
there.
man. I got the fishes in the boat.
Yay!
All right, what's the size?
I'm looking for my scales right now. It ain't a monster, man. Like I said, in these currents, these fish fight really, really hard, even if they're not real big. I mean, it ain't a bad one.
I'm going to guess right now, just based on what we have heard, using my Karnak intuition, right at 15.
I'm going to say 8.
What are you saying?
I'm saying 8. He's saying 15.
Oh, no, it's double
12
digits.
pounds. Just keep his gills in the water there. We're gonna get a picture of him when I get off the phone here. Yeah, she's a 12-pounder. He's a decent fish.
Hey,
Well,
it's split.
It's split.
We split on that. Nice fish on the river. Hey, we appreciate just being able to hear the action. For those of us that can't be out there fishing today, that are stuck here in the radio station,
Absolutely.
nice being part of it.
I've got some video
See,
from
if
that
Jen ever
river
answered
with
her
him.
phone, she could be out here.
Yeah, well, you know what? I was just going to tell the listeners to go check out that video that you and I did up on the Etowah. Probably fishing where you are right now.
No, we were down below Altoona on that one. Now I'm up above Altoona.
Oh, okay.
Different spot. Yeah, I know where the fishes are, Jen. You know
I
that.
know this. That's why I got to get back out there with you so I can figure out.
And I know where you're at on there because you're just past that bend by them rocks and that other bend up there. And I fish that. I love it up there. Captain Si, I know you're busy. I got to get rolling along. We got the Commemorative Air Force, Dixie Wing, coming on with us next. But real quick, somebody wants to book a trip with you, go experience some of this great striper fishing on the river right now firsthand. They heard about it, now they can go do it. What's the best way for folk to get in touch with you?
Easiest way is go to my website, extremestripers.com. Remember, stripers is 1P. Keep the gills in the water. Stripers is 1P, not 2. Don't get in trouble with the wife. And you can link to my Facebook. I'm about to put this picture up here in about 5 minutes on my Facebook. I got a new phone that I can do that nowadays.
All right, I want to be tagged in the picture because theoretically I was there.
Caught live on the air.
On Gary's body.
Caught live on the air. There you go.
Well, I got my Facebook up, so
go to extremestripers.com and head over to the Facebook page, and you'll be able to see what we're doing out there today.
all right, excellent. Well, I'll get on there and like it just as soon as you put it up, and we certainly appreciate you taking time out with us this morning.
All right, y'all have fun. I know we're going to.
I know you are.
That.
I'm going out with you next week if you got some time.
All right, give me a call later today.
All right, sounds good, buddy.
See you,
All right,
bud.
see y'all later.
Bye. That's Captain Si Graycar taking a quick break, coming back, talking with Chris Madrid. World War II Heritage Days coming up next weekend out of Falcon Field in Peachtree City. As we continue with Georgia Outdoors Radio, live action it was on 92.5 The Bear.
Howdy, this is your old gardening buddy Buckshot here for Arnold Grocery in Noonan with a weeding tip for you. But before that, if you're doing anything with your garden, you'll find what you need at Arnold Grocery, like a huge selection of seeds. Purple Hull peas, rattlesnake green beans, and silver queen corn, available from a quarter pound up to a pound, and small packets too. Arnold has bonnie plants, seed potatoes, and onion sets. You can also get bulk potting soil, manure, fertilizers, insecticides, herbicides, and all kinds of sprayers too, including lawn care products and seed as well. Now here's that weeding tip. If it comes up easy, it ain't no weed. Arnold Grocery, 32 East Washington Street, Noonan, or online at arnoldgrocery.com.
Gear up for baseball and softball at Noonan Ace Hardware. They've got a big selection of 2013 bats in stock with more arriving weekly. Bats from Easton, Mizuno, Worth, TPX, and DeMarini. Noonan Ace also has the area's biggest selection of catcher's gear. Brands like Diamond, Easton, TPX, and Mizuno. At Noonan Ace, they even have Trump X-Rock softballs plus a wide variety of safety masks for girls softball. Special orders are available too. Get great prices on top quality baseball and softball gear at Noonan Ace Hardware, located at Turkey Creek and Poplar Road in Noonan.
When you need tires, you may shop around. So if you are shopping tires, let me make it easy for you. Check Binion Tire and Automotive in Noonan first. They carry Michelin, BF Goodrich, Uniroyal, and other great brands. Plus, you'll usually find sale prices or manufacturer rebates on various brand tires. Binion Tire and Automotive is my car care center, and the same can be said for a lot of folks. A whole lot of folks, since Binion Tire's been around for over 50 years. Shopping tires? Make your first stop Binion Tire and Automotive, Greenville Street in Spence and Noonan, or BinionTire.com.
The Valero Community Store in Stockbridge is inviting you out this Saturday for a great big all-day party. Join 92.5 The Bear as they broadcast live noon until 2 on Saturday. Tim Rose and Company will have prizes, goodies, and more. There'll be food, inflatables, and clowns for the kids, face painting, and more. And in-store specials, the fire trucks and police cars will be on site for the kids to enjoy. It's the Valero Community Store in Stockbridge, 1080 Jodico Road. Come on out Saturday for a big Rollin' Radio Roadshow remote from noon until 2. Valero, your community store.
What a horrible day. It started with our air conditioning going out.
We can do that.
And now we have a water leak under our sink.
We can do that.
And that shorted out our electrical system.
We can do that.
Wait a minute, you can do all of that? Who are you?
We're Hammond Services, and we do maintenance, service, and repairs on all brands of heating and air systems, plus all plumbing and electrical systems. In fact, we offer our home care preventive maintenance plan with 3 inspections each year to make sure your home is safe and ready. Find out more at HammondServices.com. That's HammondServices.com.
Kemp's Dalton West Flooring is now this area's exclusive source for the new HGTV Home Flooring Collection by Shaw. The HGTV Home Flooring Collection was designed along with Shaw to offer customers the latest in flooring fashions in fresh, easy-to-coordinate colors and in a streamlined display system that simplifies the selection process. It takes all the guesswork out of your decorating. 3 names you can trust for your floor: HGTV, Shaw, and Kemp's Dalton West Flooring, 7 Jefferson Parkway in Noonan. And for specials and coupon savings, visit DaltonWest.com.
If your four-wheeler, side-by-side, or motorcycle has been sitting all winter, bring it by SMF Cycles for a spring service. SMF Cycles certified technicians service and repair all makes from Hondas to Harleys to Polaris. Now for a limited time, stop by SMF Cycles and pick up a free visor cleaning kit. It's their way of saying happy spring riding. While you're there, be sure to check out their selection of four-wheelers, side-by-sides, motorcycles, and scooters. SMF Cycles, Jackson Street in downtown Noonan, or online at smfcycles.com.
It's spring, and if you have any doubts, look outside at all the pollen. Hey Bear Country, it's Paw Paw, and I love spring, but I hate yard work. But since I have Heart and Soil Landscaping of Sonoya, springtime is fun time for me. I use Heart and Soil for all my landscape and lawn maintenance needs. Spring pre-emergence treatments, weed control, maintenance, and lots more. Enjoy your spring. Let Heart and Soil handle it all.
Heart and Soil Landscaping of Sonoya. Let them take care of your weed control, spring needs, and more. 678-633-4935 and find them on Facebook.
According to computer owners all across Bear Country, dependable means reliable, trustworthy, and responsible. And that means Tim Covert and his staff at Dependable Computer Service. If your computer has quit working or is just plain slow, they can fix the problem and will come to you to do it. The Bear depends on Dependable Computer Service, so should you.
Hi, I'm Tim Covert, and I want to help you enjoy using your computer again. Call me at 770-789-9733 or visit my website at dependablecomputerservice.com.
You're listening to Georgia Outdoors Radio with Brad Myers on the Bear 92.5.
92.5 The Bear, and we're kicking along Georgia Outdoors Radio, looking at just about 17 minutes away from the top of the hour, and time to head back to the phone lines, and something that's near and dear to my heart I love talking about, and that's not only the Dixie Wing Commemorative Air Force, but also World War II Heritage Days coming up next weekend out at Falcon Field in Peachtree City. Joining us on the phone now from the Commemorative Air Force is Chris Madrig. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Brad. Good to hear from you.
Hey, man, I appreciate you coming on the air with us, and love talking about World War II Heritage Days. And, you know, I guess let's start off with, for those that aren't familiar with World War II Heritage Days and the Dixie Wing, bring them up to speed.
Sure. Well, World War II Heritage Days was created to help recognize and pay tribute and teach to our grandkids the legacy of the greatest generation. That's the men and women who fought and served in World War II.
Right. All right. And the Dixie Wing itself, Commemorative Air Force, for those that aren't familiar with that, tell people a little bit about your mission out there and what the wing represents.
Well, the Commemorative Air Force was actually founded in the great state of Texas back in 1957 when a group of veterans decided to buy a World War II airplane. And since then, the group has grown to over 9,500 members worldwide, and our mission is very, very simple. We restore and fly World War II airplanes as a way to remember our fathers, grandfathers, and the service they gave to their country.
Absolutely. Now, of course, the Dixie Wing not only restores airplane, but hangars quite a few of those old warbirds out there as well. Tell people a little bit about the collection of the wing.
Oh, great. Well, the Dixie Wing has actually been in Georgia since 1987, and we have 7 or 8 airplanes at the hangar at any given time. Some of the planes include, for those aviation buffs, a North American P-51 Mustang, the Cadillac of the Sky. But we will also have an F-4U Corsair and 4U TB bus. It's the airplane that Pappy Boyington would have flown in the Pacific against the Japanese. And, of course, we have several trainers. We have a Japanese Zero, a Japanese Kate. So if you want to get up close and personal to World War II airplanes, the Dixie Wing is a place to go.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, these some of these warbirds themselves have actually starred in some Hollywood productions. Of course, the Japanese replicas that you have there are such planes.
They are. They first appeared in movies, Tora Tora Tora, War and Remembrance, of course, several TV series. And we have one airplane that's very rare. It's a SBD Dauntless dive bomber. There's only 2 flying in the world today. One's here in Peachtree City, Georgia. It also was in several movies. So once again, that's an SBD Dauntless dive bomber.
Yeah, that was the, I guess, feature plane, or the one of the key roles, if you will, in the Battle of Midway.
Right. She's known as the hero of Midway. That's correct.
Awesome aircraft, without a doubt. And, you know, it's fortunate that we have something like that down here. It's even more fortunate for individuals that are have the door open to them by the Dixie Wing Commemorative Air Force, especially through the way of World War II Heritage Days. Now, what all goes on during World War II Heritage Days, if you would kind of paint a picture for those that hadn't been there?
Well, think Combination Classroom, think Combination History Festival. We have over 300 volunteers coming from throughout the Southeast. They're bringing their collection of military equipment. They're going to recreate a World War II camp. We're going to have a dozen World War II vehicles on hand. But more importantly, on Saturday morning, next Saturday, we're going to host a special opening ceremony where we're going to recognize local World War II veterans. So that really is the highlight of the entire weekend. They are the reason we host this event for Peachtree City and Fayette County.
Right. And, you know, as we had talked about before, this is probably going to be one of the last years that you're able to get most, if not all, these veterans down there.
You know, that's true. The sun is really setting on the greatest generation. We've mailed over 200 invitations to local World War II veterans. We sent dozens of emails to veterans groups and Honor Flight. But the reality, these veterans are now in their 80s. It's if the weather's tough, you know, we don't know what kind of attendance we're going to get, but we hope to have at least a couple of dozen of these veterans on hand for us.
And you always had some great guests down there. I know I started out the open of the show talking about some of the veterans that I've met down there. And, you know, it's just a great opportunity to be able to get out and, you know, firsthand meet some of these individuals, shake their hand, thank them for their service.
Oh, absolutely. If anybody even just has a few hours next Saturday or Sunday, because it's a 2-day event, bring your kids, bring your grandkids, bring your cousins, your nieces, or nephews. This is a real gift that you can give your family, which is a chance to meet somebody who helped create American history.
Absolutely. And that evening, big hanger dance going on. We can't let the show go without mentioning that and talking a little bit about what the hanger dance is and what's all involved for the night.
Well, and the hanger dance is a fundraiser for the entire weekend. It's a 1940s dance. We have a 21-piece swing band, and we have 400 people that show up, and most of the people, maybe half, will end up wearing something 1940s. So if you're into dressing up into the 1940s and just love the music, it's really a unique experience, because where else can you go to have a big swing dance in a 1940s hangar with World War II airplanes?
Yeah, that's a really cool thing, because the aircraft are there. So many people dress the part. It is like a trip back in time and being part of that world's greatest generation. And, for those that hadn't experienced it, I highly recommend you go. Between the meal, the music, the band itself's phenomenal, just the whole setting in general. You guys really paint a good picture of what life was like back then, not only, during that hangar dance, but throughout the Heritage Days.
We really try to give people a glimpse into the 1940s. You can never recreate that era, but if people just want to see something more than what you might see in a video game or on television or on even going to the movie theater, this is a chance to connect with our heritage. It's only $5 per person. We make it available to all families, and if anybody can't even cover $5, you're welcome to attend the event as our guest.
There you go. You just make it affordable. You want people to come out. The main thing is people come out and participate.
Absolutely. We want people to walk away learning a little bit more about their heritage.
And battle reenactment that goes on there, so people can kind of see what it was like firsthand for the soldiers down in the trenches.
We actually have two public battle demonstrations Saturday and Sunday. Saturday, early in the day, we have a recreated battle at the Battle of Bataan between the Army and the Japanese, and later in the day, there's a battle between British and American paratroopers against the Germans. So a lot of fun, a lot of education, and a great chance for your listeners to get real up close and personal with a unique collection of military equipment.
That's right. Equipment, uniforms. I mean, last time I was out there, I was really impressed with the messenger pigeon display that was out there, and to find out how much of role the messenger pigeon played in our military.
Right. You're referring to the Army Signal Corps Museum. There's over 65 organizations that have registered to participate in the event. We have 5 or 6 museums that are going to be setting up displays. The Museum of Aviation out of Warner Robins, the Signal Corps Museum out of Fort Gordon. The Infantry Museum is going to have a tabletop display with some of their library collections. So we're actually creating, once again, a classroom in Peachtree City for the next weekend.
All right, excellent. Now, if somebody wants to find out more information on World War II Heritage Days, website, Facebook page, all that, let's give that information out.
Sure. Our Facebook page is WorldWar2Days.com, and to go to our website, real simple, wwiidays.org. So once again, wwiidays.org. Anything you want to know about the weekend is posted on our website.
And that's I letter, not I as in Popeye.
That's correct.
All right. Chris Madrid, thank you so much for taking time out with us this morning, and hopefully we can get you back on the air again at the beginning of next week, early in the morning. I know you'll be busy, but if we can do that, and if not, I'll just remind people what's going on, and we'll be playing the commercial.
Well, Brad, thank you very much. Take care.
Absolutely. Thank you. That's Chris Madrid from the Dixie Wing, Commemorative Air Force. Jennifer, that is a cool time down there. I noticed you kind of were nodding your head when he was talking about the old swing band.
Yes.
That band is phenomenal. I mean, they are tight. They sound great. I remember one year it was down there and he had Andrew Sisters impersonators. And, I mean, it was just so cool because you're hanging out with all these people. Most of them are dressed like the 1940s military.
So cool.
You're sitting there looking at old warbirds from the, that era. It's just really, really cool. You can tell I'm passionate about it.
I love documenting things, and I just think that's fascinating. I mean, our elders are that's the living history right there, and you need to get out and go see them. But I love period pieces. I'm into film and all that stuff, and I just, when people go all out and dress up and do their hair, and I'm just thinking if I have some high-waisted, big pants that I can wear, I don't know, anything to put my hair in, curls, it would be nice.
I understand. Well, speaking of filming, you've got some filming going on, projects and so forth. Let's talk a little bit about that while we still got time.
All right. Well, as I had mentioned earlier, I'm doing a documentary film called Girl Gotta Fish, and it's all about my, first foray into John boat tournament fishing. It's also going to have, like the history of women fishing. So there'll be some educational things in there, not just me being frustrated with the wrong rod. When women started, hunting and gathering, and then the beginnings of women in sport fishing. So.
You gonna cover anything with the old Bass and Gals tournament?
Yeah, I don't even know anything about them.
Yeah, that was. I don't even know if they're still around. I would imagine so. It was a big tournament back 20-some years ago.
Okay.
But
well, I'll definitely have that as part of my research. Then we're just starting to do all the research right now. I have someone helping me, and just these tribes down in South America and these women out. It's kind of crazy. It's like. Also like using their hands, doing that old caveman fishing. Yeah, neat stuff. So I have a website I'd like to tell people about.
Absolutely.
And it's for the film. It's girlgottafish.com. And I have some sponsors on there that are offering some really cool things if people are so inclined to, put some support my way.
Yeah, donate some to the project and the
Right.
cause, because putting something together like this, it's coming out of your pocket,
Right.
and it's not cheap to do. So if somebody does want to help out, make a contribution, that just goes to the betterment of the project, which is to educate people on what fishing and ladies have to do with
Correct.
each other.
And I also have I'm accepting submissions of people young girls, old girls, any girls with their catches. Anybody who has pictures of their grandmother or their grandbaby with some nice fish, I'd love for you to send those my way. In the credits of the film, I'm going to have like a big montage of just all the girls getting their fish on.
Right. We'll have to get in touch with Captain Judy, because I know she has got a bunch of them, and she's been
Yes.
kicking fish tails since the 50s.
1956. Yes, I know Miss Captain Judy down there. She helped me out a lot when I was fishing down in Savannah.
Yeah, I can't help think of lady anglers and not think of my favorite friend down in Savannah, Captain Judy.
Absolutely. She's a lovely lady.
And she's a hoot to be on the air with. So, well, that's awesome. Now, when do you plan on having the documentary completed by?
Well, the tournament season runs through September 14th. I think that is our last tournament that's to be determined. I'm in the top 10 now, and that is my goal in this whole project. Is my first time out is to be in the top 10. I just got into the top 10 last week. Hopefully I maintain, and we're all good, not embarrassing ourselves too much. So October, we're just starting to bring our footage in. So I'd say October, November would be a good estimation on a release date. As far as where it's going after this, possibly a couple of film festivals, but we're looking at Georgia Public Broadcasting probably as our outlet.
Awesome. Now, if somebody wants to see some of the documentary work that you've done in the past, some of your film work, do you have any of that available online?
You can go and check out my LinkedIn account. You can look me up, and also on my Girl Gotta Fish website at the bottom. You can find me on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and on that page I have some video work as well that people can see.
Because you've done some fantastic video documentaries, and I've seen them. Quality production.
Right.
I mean, it's
my first one was on the Tennis Channel, and it was on Maureen Connolly, the first woman to win the Grand Slam in tennis, and I got to interview people like Billie Jean King. If probably our younger listeners don't even know who she is, but during my time, coming up in tennis, it was she was the ultimate.
You got that right.
Right. So that was my first documentary I got distribution on. So. And I've done more. I went off to India and did a documentary in Mumbai in 2009, and that was for the CDC. You can check that one out in their museum. But yeah, I have a film background, so all HD video. It's going to be quality. I know I throw up little videos from time to time, but this one's actually, it's going to be all, broadcast ready, if you will.
There you go. All right, well, we got to take a quick break, come back, wrap things up, talking with Jennifer Spell, a.k.a. Bayou Betty. Been talking about the Southern John Boat Anglers. And the show continues and wrapping up right after this here on 92.5 The Bear.
Howdy, this is your old gardening buddy Buckshot here for Arnold Grocery in Noonan with a weeding tip for you. But before that, if you're doing anything with your garden, you'll find what you need at Arnold Grocery, like a huge selection of seeds. Purple Hull peas, rattlesnake green beans, and silver queen corn, available from a quarter pound up to a pound, and small packets too. Arnold has bonnie plants, seed potatoes, and onion sets. You can also get bulk potting soil, manure, fertilizers, insecticides, herbicides, and all kinds of sprayers too, including lawn care products and seed as well. Now here's that weeding tip. If it comes up easy, it ain't no weed. Arnold Grocery, 32 East Washington Street, Noonan, or online at arnoldgrocery.com.
Two things that just go together naturally: chocolate fondue and beautiful jewelry. So we're giving you both. Town Square Jewelers on the Square in Fayetteville is excited to announce a one-time special event, the Le'Veon Trunk Show, Wednesday, April 24th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Le'Veon, the originator of the exclusive chocolate diamond collection, will be here to take appointments showing their latest styles, including the mixed berry and chocolatier line of diamond jewelry. Town Square Jewelers will pamper you with chocolate fondue and refreshments. And if you already own a Le'Veon piece, make an appointment to bring it in and trade up on some of these luscious new styles. Call 770-460-7787 today to make an appointment with someone from the Le'Veon team. Satisfy your craving for Le'Veon and spoil yourself at Town Square Jewelers. That's Wednesday, April 24th from 10 till 6, only at Town Square Jewelers on the Square in Fayetteville. The Le'Veon Trunk Show and Town Square Jewelers. What a delightful combination.
Why just golf when you can cosmic golf? Bowling is fun, but have you ever done it in the dark? At Junction Lanes in Noonan, bowling and golf glow in the dark. Lights go out, black lights come on, the disco balls drop, the music turns on, and everything goes cosmic. Plus, there's a gaming arcade with more than 65 arcade and video games. There's food for everybody at the Depot Grill. Junction Lanes is the perfect staycation location for your family. It's all at Junction Lanes on Bullsboro Drive next to the theater in Noonan. Click on junctionlanes.com for more info.
Yeah, that sound says not only it's widespread panic, but it's time to get on out of here. Make way for the Southern Race Report. That's coming up next. Thanking our guests that have been on the air with us today. Rick Burns from the Southern John Boat Anglers, and also Chris Madrid from the Dixie Wing. Special guest in the studio, Jennifer Spell. Jennifer, thank you so much for coming on in and joining us.
Oh, thank you. And I just want to give a little shout out to Jim Lee. Even though he couldn't make it in the studio today, he's having a little bit of a stomach bug this morning, but he became a grandfather last Saturday at 7 p.m. His daughter gave birth to a little girl. And I just wanted to say congrats to him, and maybe we'll get him in here and pluck his brain.
Yeah, that's what I was looking forward to doing, is getting the information on bass fishing, not so much tournament fishing out of Jim. So hopefully you can drag him on into the studio. I want to thank everybody that's joining us on the air. Special thanks, too, to Captain Cy Graycar, letting us be a part of his live action catching fish on the air. Shane Prophet, Tracy Pittman enjoyed hearing that along with me. Folks, I've had a fun time sitting in here with you this morning, hoping you have a great, safe weekend. And by all means, whatever you do, get outdoors, and please take a kid with you. Until next week, folks, see you around.
You've been listening to Georgia Outdoors Radio. We welcome your comments, suggestions, and input by visiting our website at georgiaoutdoorsradio.com and send us an email. Thank you for tuning in, and be sure to tell your family and friends to tune in every Saturday morning from 6 until 8 a.m. right here on the Bear 92.5 FM. Georgia Outdoors Radio is a production of Georgia Outdoors Radio Network.